you?
Good. Hi, Zoe. Where are you right now?
Right now I'm in Florida.
Okay, cool.
And you?
I'm in San Francisco.
Cool. I love everything about the half of it. I love the whole half of it. And I love how this film is not a cliche and it's not like a typical high school movie. So this film, it feels like a very personal story. What did you want to tell to young generations?
Oh, wow. First of all, thank you for saying that. It's like you never know as a filmmaker when you put these things out there, you have no idea how people will respond. So it
I
means a
loved
lot
it.
to me that, like, yeah, and especially because, I mean, a lot of ways you're like, I mean, it's funny. I often like when I talk to my friends who are teens, I'm always amazed like how sophisticated teens are these days. Like you guys have like leapfrogged us in terms of our understanding of like relationships and in terms of how we think about the world. And I think that's really exciting for me. And you hope when you're making these things, like I was like, God, I just hope it's in a way like that teens will actually relate to this and not be like an old person made this. And so it's nice to hear that like you did feel seen on some level. And I guess maybe that's just it is my hope is that for anyone, whether you're a teen or you're older, that somewhere in these characters you feel seen somehow, and that by the end of the movie you maybe feel more connected to like a larger humanity.
Yeah, I totally get it. Actually, I'm 11, but I love this film so much. And I'm an actress. I'm not really a director, but I always like to write sketches with my friends. And I love this film so much. And I love the quote from this movie that it says, "Love is trying, reaching, and falling." So, do you think people these days have a wrong vision of what love truly is?
Mm. Um, I, I'm the last person to think anyone has the wrong vision of anything because I myself have such a, as I get older, I become more and more aware of the fact of like how much I don't know. But one thing I do think is that when I was younger, I had like a very, like, this is what love is, and someday if I get that, then my life will be complete. Right. And as I get older, like you start having so many different types of relationships with people, not just romantic, but different kinds of friendships. Your relationship with your parents is probably going to change as you get older. Like you have different kinds of relationships with them. And seeing that helped me realize like there's just like a whole like lexicon of love that we don't, I think we keep it in a much narrower band than actually exists. And so I guess I feel like, as I get older, my understanding of love is only gonna grow because I'm only gonna have more different kinds of relationships.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed the delicacy in storytelling whenever you were telling the story. It felt like it was in a very elegant way. So, do you think it's important for all of us to understand how different we all are among each other?
Yes, by the way, I kind of can't get over the fact that you're 11 because these are like the most sophisticated, thoughtful questions I've gotten, like from people of all ages. So I hope I just had to call that out. Like it's really great.
Well, thank you.
So I'm sorry. Your last question was like you appreciate the delicacy of. Do you mind saying that again?
Yeah, of course. So, I love the delicacy in your storytelling in this film. I felt like it was told in such like a beautiful and elegant way, especially for like certain subjects that might be just a tiny bit sensitive for like younger audiences. So, do you think it's important for all of us to understand how different we all are like among each other?
Yeah, I think the thing is that I do believe that we're actually all far more similar than we are different. But I really love that as humans, one of the things is we get to express ourselves, right? Like we get to decide this is how I want to dress, or this is how I want to wear my hair, or this is who I want to love. And all of that can change all the time. Like it's one of the great, wonderful things about being human is this constant ability to choose. And in that though, I think fundamentally though, I think we all pretty much want the same things. I think we all want to love. I think we all want to be loved. I think we all want to be understood. And that can take different forms. But because of that, I really love taking a story and showing characters that are very specific, so that, maybe you don't usually see that character on screen, but you hopefully start to relate to them. Like, hopefully, you fall in love with them, you start to relate to them. And by the end of the film, because of your kinship with that character, even if they're nothing like the way you present yourself, it maybe makes you feel a little bit more. like your capacity to connect to all sorts of different kinds of people becomes greater. So I think that's something that I secretly hope will happen when people see the film.
Yeah, and finally, well, sadly, obviously, we're all at home, interviews on the computer these days. So, what movies would you recommend for kids to watch when they're in quarantine?
Oh, wow. What a great question. Um, I mean, I love classic movies. And in fact, I put a bunch of my favorite classic movies in uh, in the film.
Yeah, I saw Charlie
It-
Chaplin and everything. I loved
yeah.
it. One of my favorite scenes
Yeah.
actually, whenever he says like best part.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. I think, God, a great movie. Well, okay, here's a Swedish film I loved. I love this movie called My Life as a Dog. It came out in the late 80s, mid to late 80s, and it deals with a young boy. I think it's actually a great movie to watch in quarantine because it's about a young boy who's going through something kind of tough in his life, but he does it with such, I don't know, there's just this sort of like irrepressible quality about him that I really love. So that might be one that I'd recommend.
Yeah, well, I love talking to you, and I'll make sure to check out that movie soon.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Zoe. I really appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you too.
Could be.